Hello, welcome back to my ATM Gravitas 2 Let's Play. My name is Cthulhu, or Monster. You can call me either. I'm playing here on Pilpo's Patreon server, and last episode we finally got the mineral tree farm finished. Thank gosh, that was a painful one, just due to work and life balance, I think. So yeah, I think we're gonna jump right into integrated dynamics with automating my diesel and my polyethylene. Do let me know if you liked the format of this episode. This is very much more of a technical and my thought process on building these systems. And if there's anything I should elaborate on, or if it's something that maybe you want to look at it a different way, I'm always curious on that. Let's see what we got up to. So I am down by last backup garlic. I need to make sure I grow garlic this season or spring. So I've planted some. It's only 25% growth right now, and winter is starting to drop. It might kill it. If it does, I'm going to be raiding Cassidy's, all the different greenhouses on the server, and okay, make sure I focus. Grow garlic this time. I've been fiddling a little bit with learning more about how integrated dynamics will be connecting into my machines here. And one item I wanted to make was the machine reader. And I had been putting it off because I needed a crucible. So I went and I got some Killinite clay. So I got my machine reader now. So what I have discovered is that if I'm using a fluid exporter, it will go into the system. So say I get some more hydrogen, which I don't have right now, but I do have a lot of sulfide here. Let's get this going. I'm gonna actually, I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, so I'm just gonna grab some of this hydrogen here. And if there's a pump or something already on the face of the Greg Tech, the integrated dynamics won't connect in. So that was something I noticed. So now this should fill it up, you can see as it goes through with the text. And that is because I have a fluid interface on this, and then a card variable card with doing one millibucket of hydrogen gas at a time. I don't know. I don't think it pulls a certain amount. It's going to pull until it needs to. So there's a little bit there for some properties we could change, but I'm not going to fiddle with that. And what I really need to do now is get it so that I understand how these machines are being read by this system. So once I understand that, I can figure out how I could program this to make integrated dynamics work with Greg Tech. And I am trying to avoid AE2 right now because AE2 has a lot of setup that I want to be able to do more formal, like actually have like a build out, and I want to make sure I have a brain. So to be honest, when I, I want to say I have a brain, oh boy, out of context, hilarious. But I want to make sure I have a location where I want my AE2 core to be, and at the moment I don't quite have that. So we're gonna work with this. All right, so I'm gonna hook my cable to this, and now I could see what type of data I can pull from this. My goal is to kind of redo my automatic diesel because Bolt will not let me claim this is automatic until I do. And I mean, it's automatic-ish. So let's get this actually more automatic. So with this machine reader, let's take a look here. So is a worker, has working. Okay, has temperature. So right now there's no temperature. Recipes, recipe by input. I have no idea how that's going to work with what I need it to do. So let's take off this pump here to make sure it's not reading the pump instead of what I'm looking for. So I'm going to reattach this. And previously it said that there was really nothing going on in here. So let's see. Recipes by input. I would like to know what that looks like. A display panel is really important to kind of debug these systems from what I was learning. And I'm definitely not an expert in integrated dynamics. Gosh, to whoever can call themselves that, I gotta be impressed. It's a very intricate mod, but I do appreciate that it exists. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here, and I just want to look at that variable card. Okay, so it doesn't really seem like anything I really want. So I'll have to really think about if there's a thing I can use that to read off of. but I think I can do what I want right now with what I have. So what I'm going to be looking for is fluid exporters to pull from a series of super tanks, and I would like fluid importers as well, to bring stuff into my network. So pulling from a system into a fluid tank. So let's see here what I got. My biggest thought right now is five. No, my current thought is trying to identify how I want the layout to look. So let's see here. First thing I'm going to look for is just to see if there's any percentage here. So I'm not really seeing a reason why I can't just run all of my oil dust through a centrifuge and call it good. So I have a little machine back here that processes my mineral logs in through a centrifuge, and that puts it into the drying basin here. And then with the drying basin, it makes the blocks here. So this is where I've kind of hidden it. It's at the in the attic of my workshop right now, and uh, probably will find a permanent location for this once I get some cleanup going on. But for the moment, it does a great job for getting what I need in regards to like the crystallized chunks and items. So yeah, so that's what I did. It's a automatic output um, from the centrifuge here for the items, and then a automatic liquid one down into the drying basin. And the drying basin, you'll see that there's a little conveyor I have right on this crate that pulls from the drying basin. So short and sweet. So there's one piece I really have been wanting to try in regards to integrated dynamics, and that is the part offset piece here. And what I'm hoping it can help me do is to put an offset on some of these exporters so my wiring can be more hidden. So I don't want the fluid exporter per se. I'm trying to get an interface to start. I have a heavy oil tank right here, and I want to be able to access it on my server, not my server, my system, uh, network. There's the word we're looking for. So I want this attached to my network. But if I have a stack of drives here, getting this one specifically tied to the network is a little bit tough. So what I'm planning on doing is putting this here and then grabbing a offset. And it says the offset increases by 8 with each of these, from my understanding. So I'm going to put one of these into this guy here, and then you'll see that under the part offsets, you can see that there's X, Y, and Z here. And if I take this wrench and I click on this, it goes into the GUI, but if I shift, it says position and side were saved in the wrench. So I don't want to go from the side here per se yet. Let's go from the top. So position and side were saved. And then I'm going to pop up here, and now it's been set in part. So new position inside have been set in part. So I want to take a look at this part offset. So it's -3 here. So this fluid interface should be connected to that super tank. So let's see if that worked. So yep, I got fluids for the first time, and I could see heavy oil. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. So if I can offset segments of my integrated dynamics, that's gonna be so much easier to make something look the way I want. Okay, cool. Let me bring you back in once I get this laid out a little bit more. So with summer, I have a I have my little alcove out here from the enchanting that I'm just gonna hide to cool down. Cassidy gave me some dragon ice, thank gosh, and yeah, overheating and running all the way down to the river can be a little tough. I need to figure out a good way to get some AC built in, but since I move stuff around so much, I just haven't been willing to. All right, we are on take 12 million, I feel, on getting the sounds in play. And the one thing I'm noticing is I like most of the sounds other than the combustion right now, just because it's so stuttery. Like maybe once I get an um, central energy generator that can help me lock this in. And yeah, I noticed all my previous footage while I was setting this up did not have any of the actual game sounds, so I apologize there. So this is what I've set up. I really am loving how compact I can make this system with integrated dynamics. The only cabling I really need here is the powering of it. Plus, I do have a little bit of piping here. And the one pipe I'm running into that I'm trying to solve is how do I actually use these fluid filters? I previously had them on the output here of these chemical reactors to stop it from going into the mixer, but now I've put them on the mixer because I noticed that wasn't working to blacklist hydrogen sulfide. I just need this not to get backed up with hydrogen sulfide. So, and then actually give the system a chance to pull it into here. So, yeah, that's kind of how it's been going. Um, and right now I do have the heavy fuel line disabled, mainly because I keep making extra heavy fuel. So while I'm recording, I'm just going to manually fill that. And let's see here. So I have nothing here. Something there. So this should be coming in from up here. Let's just check on this. And all of this is a test. Like if it doesn't work, alas, but you know, I can deal with that. I'm hoping that all this stuff will stay through startups. We just upgraded to the recent version, so even if this didn't stay for this setup, I would be willing to give it another attempt. It's always fun when something doesn't work the next day. All right, so you're empty right now. Why? Do I need to do a little voila? It's the scientific term for it, a voila. So it looks like my importers are no longer working. Oh, nuggets. I'm just going to reset this up in hopes that I can make this function. I love scaffolding. It's very helpful for what I'm up to. Okay, I'm going to see if it's because I put the item inventory on a 20. It was. Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically one of the things I wanted to do was set the item interface here to 20 for machines. 10 is my duplicate storage right now. So a little bit of an oopsie there on my part is that doing that makes it so I need to change this from channel 0 to channel 20 for these. So something to thank gosh it's that and not something else. I will gladly take that as the reason. All right. So now this is here. This just needs to get, since I broke it, it needs to be set to 2 again. All right. Whew. That is the problem with changing your settings partially through a thought. Or not partially through a thought, once you have everything set up. It's, you know, it happens. But it's always good to get the majority of that locked in beforehand. All right. So now these should be full up on hydrogen. Excellent. Light fuel is, this one is through the GregTech pipe, so there's nothing there. This one here might be one that I need to do. So I got to change the sulfide inventory piece. And this, I'm just going to take the facade off because it's easier to access all sides. So here is, I'll say east. Okay, so this one here is, make that 20, 20. And these are the 2 areas that would have the sulfide. So when you look at where those are connected, you can see that the lines cross over to those pipes. I turn off the shaders. It's a little bit easier to see the connections without the shaders. So those are tied to these 2 machines, the chemical reactors, and they would be identifying what's in there. And then over here is where I have the import the fluid, not that one. Got to go up higher. I love scaffolding, but it's good to put it at the top. All right. Probably didn't need to be that high. Oh, or that low. It needs to be just right. Rapunzeling this over here. All right. So there's that. And then this one here is also doing some type of fluid interface. Let's see where they're linking. So that one is actually my diesel fluid interface. So still very much a necessity. And here is my exporting item here, and that's exporting my hydrogen sulfate. So I just need to get that on the right channel. I believe I have another one here that's exporting that. I'm only exporting from one right now. Oh, I only need one exporter because these actually tie it to the system and this pulls from the system. So anywhere there's hydrogen sulfide, it's going to pull all as much as it can into my electrolyzer. Excellent. All right, that should be reset up here. So I'm just going to put this facade back on. And the light fuel is going to be the most time sink right there. That we just need to wait for that to go. And it looks like I forgot to set the automatic output to this side. There we go. And I like that sound. I think that just brings some nice ambiance. All right, so that's there. Then this one here needs to go to this side. So I'm wondering, I shouldn't be doing the opposite of what I wanted it, this filter here. Why are you not exporting into a pipe? Okay, let's see if I need to use a drum. I don't get how this can be used as an electric pump at regular upgrade because it doesn't work that way for me. So it's not pulling it up. I need to get a pump in there to pull it upwards. And right now this has just been fighting sending it over. If I go with a pump, this needs to have a filter of don't use hydrogen sulfide. But I also then need it on there. So that's one thing with GregTech. I'm still learning. So if anyone has some good documentation of when the fluid filters come into play, that would be great. I'm going to put it on, let me just check to make sure. Yep, this is maybe, I'm going to put it on the drum here. And then grab my screwdriver and look at it because I don't want it to go into this steel drum ever. That's not where I want it to go. And now I need to set this guy here to import instead of export. So now it should pull through and up. There we go. I considered doing more of the advanced distillery, but since I do plan on in the future replacing the distillery with an actual distillation tower, I didn't think that was be necessary right yet. All right, so I'm going to leave it to do its process here. All right, so for polyethylene, one thing we are going to need is water. So with the finite water situation right now, which I'm actually kind of excited about, I think it's going to make it interesting, but I realize could be from the fact that it's kind of like, well, I'm in HV, so it's like the rich kid equivalent of saying that. Because one thing I just quickly I crafted quickly up a infinite water cover for a tank basically that does 80 liters per tick, and have just been having it fill this water tank here. And I put that once again on interface 20 channel here. And with that, I've created like a quick temporary steam production down here. I just had, and that's one of the things I'll talk about. This is going to be way too loud. So I'm going to put the boilers on a muffling because that is loud. Oh, it was furnace, that's why. Oh yeah, that's much better. That way I can still get the ambiance of the fact that I have this monstrosity here. But what I basically have done is put my 3 super tanks here, put a huge steel fluid pipe, which has a lot more capacity than the gold one I have here. And I just was a little cheeky here and imported directly into a set of Greg tech items here with fluid exporter. And then I just hooked some fluid interfaces to my tanks there because I need steam, to be honest. And I've locked all of these to Steam now just so that I'll build that amount, but I'm not going to be able to. I locked them to Steam so I won't accidentally import something else. But I think it's fine to change things, you know. I learned a lot when I built this system, and I get to learn a lot about building it again and what I would like to do. And then right after, I had to change the pipes on top. So, editor monster here. Yeah, you can't pull steam from the top of these boilers, so they need to come from the side. I don't have a video of that, but yep, changed it again. I like to have a little bit of some memory of what I was up to, so I might just keep this in here. I kept the wheels spinning, but I took out the rest of the create. But I do need to figure out a way to merge this into this building. All right, I finally managed to keep garlic alive too. What's this word? Maturity. So my food stores, they've come back. What was it? I was laughing because I finished automating my polyethylene last night, and I'm lucky that I'm in the big group here on the server with the Piltopians, which sounds a little evil in my mind. I don't know why. I feel like anytime I see anyone say Utopia, I always think that these guys are definitely not a utopian area. But you know, maybe we are evil. Who's to say? I mean, we had victims. But anyway, there's a lot of us here, so my stuff got loaded. So I actually just refilled all of my oxygen that is in, gosh, what is it? Just refilled all of my oxygen for my polyethylene. And I can show you that once I get rid of all this garlic. I don't even think there's anything I can do with it. Maybe it would let me make garlic toast. No, we'll just throw it away. I could feed it to the goats, but I am not into working with the animals at the moment. I'm too tired, too focused on other things. All right, so just with my arms full of rotten garlic, I return home to my build. I do need to get that area figured out. I will, in time. All right. And I'm not going to plant anymore right now because spring, it's late spring when I came on. And garlic can't live in summer where I'm at. So I'll put the seeds away. I can't eat the seeds. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I am desperately in need of storage. It's time for storage. All right, I think that's gonna have to be next episode, likely, since I literally cannot put garlic seeds in here. All right, so I've organized these two halves here. I do have a little spare space here that I've got to figure out. But I like it for the moment. So taking what we learned over here from the diesel side, I actually went and finished out my polyethylene. So there is one source that I don't have automated right now, and that is the oxygen gas. This is finite in this system. But I am also stopping this production at one aluminum drum, mainly because I don't want all of my oil to turn into polyethylene. So I'm going to stick with one aluminum drum, so that's 128 buckets, and then just keep this primed so it'll fill up if I pull from here. So now, if I look at my liquids, I can actually see my polyethylene in here as well, which is great. And then with oxygen, I drained this earlier, but I don't have it connected, but I do have my processor down here with the compressor and the centrifuge here that makes oxygen and nitrogen. So those locations, like that's where that is located. I just don't have it directly connected to the network yet because I don't know where I want those super tanks to live. So for the moment, I think filling that up manually I'm okay with. And it looks like the battery buffer can't quite keep up with all of it on. So I probably should get it looks like it's barely able to keep up. So 120, nope, can't keep up. So what I'm going to do next is just turn off some of these. If I had a really big backup here waiting for the oxygen. Normally, if there's no backup and all of this stuff, I don't have any cracked fuel or these built up, this can run perfectly fine. But in the meantime, I'm going to have these turn off right now and recharge my battery filter. And I did put a machine controller on this side of my battery buffer. That's what this is doing over here. And similar to what I have on my EVF, it will only run when it's between 10 and 90% full on the battery. And that will turn off this centrifuge here, which is what processes my oil dust over here. And unfortunately, right now, that's one thing that I'm a little sad about. I don't think I have it included at all into my server right now to see the amount, but that was because I wanted to automatically be able to put it in here, but I was noticing it was doubling on me for some reason. So for the moment, I'm not doing that. So if Bolt says that this isn't automated, I kick him. I would never. He is way better armed than I am on the server. I'm so excited. Winter's gone. Let's see what the mineral tree's been doing. So yeah, yeah, 11,000. mineral lock, so it does more than what I need here. I'm maxed out on the berries and the sticks, so yeah, this is great. Um, and it's fun, you know? Oh, look at this. It's going off now. I love this thing. This is so silly. And the thing stops right here. So, put a little silly into your builds. Make it a little fun. So the irony of these two spruce pillars, it makes my outro look hilarious. All right. Well, that's the end of today's episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun learning integrated dynamics here and kind of fiddling with it a bit more. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this type of build. I know trying to do design on camera can be a bit tough, but I think that's the part of the process that I also want to share with everyone. But also, I completely understand that maybe you just want to see the finished product. Let me know. And yeah, thank you so much again. This was Cthulhu Monster playing on Pilpo's Patreon server. Take care, everyone.